Professor Lee, Todd, and Professor Subbaswamy, and Mr. Paul, and Dr. Takabi, and all the members of Board of Trustees, faculty members, students, distinguished guests. Dear friends, today I am delighted to be in the midst of the members of the University of Kentucky, recognized for its world-class arts, science, and technology programs. And my greetings to the student, faculty members, alumni, staff, and distinguished guests and assembled here. I consider it as a great honor to me for being awarded the Doctorate of Science by prestigious university whose core values are innovation, creativity, problem solving, and collaborative teamwork, which is essential for a sustainable societal growth. My greetings to the university authorities and the Board of Trustees. Dear friends, today morning I had an interaction with Gatton College of Business and Economics students and faculty, where I have already elaborated on the possible collaborative research mission between University of Kentucky and Indian universities through the establishment of World Knowledge Platform. Now I would like to talk on the topic, dynamics of the peace. During the year 2003, I visited one of the Indian states, Arunachal Pradesh. I visited a Buddhist monastery at Tawang, 3,500 meter altitude. I stayed and spent some time, nearly for a day. I observed a unique situation in all the villages nearby, where young and experienced were all radiating happiness in spite of severe winter environment. Then I visited the 400 years old Tawang monastery itself, and there also I saw monks of all age groups in the state of serenity. I was asking myself, what is the unique feature of Tawang and the surrounding villages which makes people and monks to be at peace with themselves? When the time came, I asked the chief monk, how Tawang villages and monastery, I am experiencing a peace and happiness being radiated by everyone. There was a pause. The chief monk smiled. He said, you are the President of India. You will be knowing all about us and the whole nation. Again I said, it is very important for me. You please give me your thoughtful analysis. I asked the monk. There was a beautiful golden image of Lord Buddha, radiating smile and peace. The chief monk assembled nearby. All is nearly 100 young and experienced monks. The chief monk and myself were sitting amidst them. The chief monk gave a short discourse, which I would like to share with you. Chief monk said, quote, in the present world, we have a problem of distrust, unhappiness transforming into violence. This monastery spreads when you remove I and me. When you remove I and me from your mind, you will eliminate ego. If you get rid of ego, hatred towards fellow human beings will vanish. If the hatred goes out of our mind, the violence in thinking and action will disappear. If violence in our mind is taken away, peace springs in human minds. Then peace and peace and peace alone will blossom in the society, unquote. I realized the meaning of the beautiful equation for peaceful life, but difficult mission for the individual is how to remove the ethos of I and me. For this we need the education inculcated in the young age in all our educational institutions. Recently, I met His Holiness Dalai Lama during the launching of Global Foundation for Civilization Harmony at New Delhi. Dalai Lama said, His Holiness said, that as per one of the medical research study, it has been found that the people who utter the word I several times have greater tendency to have health problems both physically and mentally. In my search for evolving a peaceful and prosperous society, I got part of the answer. My search for real truth continues. I saw an ancient Christian monastery in Bulgaria where I had a discussion with highly experienced monks on the message of Tawang. The monk added that the forgiveness is also the foundation of the good life. Similarly, in the birthplace of Swami Vivekananda, I explained the Tawang experience to the disciples, and they too felt the Tawang experience indeed is beautiful. They added, trait of giving will add to peace and happiness. Then I visited Ajmer Sharif, where I participated in the Friday Namaz. Here the Sufi expert told me that Almighty's creation, the man, has been challenged with another powerful creation of Shaitan. Only good deeds lead to good thinking. Good thinking results into actions radiating love as commanded by the Almighty. While talking about good deeds, I am reminded of the advice given to Gandhiji by his mother when Gandhiji was a 9-year-old boy. She says, mother said to son, son, in your entire lifetime, if you can save or better someone's life, your birth as a human being and your life is a success. You have the blessing of the Almighty God. This is the advice Mother Mahatma Gandhi gave to her son. This advice has made a deep impact in the mind of Gandhiji, which made him to work for the humanity throughout his life. During his 100th birthday of His Holiness, Sri Shivakumara Swamiji of Sri Siddhaganga Mat Tamkur, a southern state of India, a message of giving came to my mind celebrating his contribution, which I would like to share with you. It says that, O my fellow citizen, in giving you receive happiness in body and soul. You have everything to give. If you have knowledge, share it. If you have resource, share it with the needy. Use your mind and heart to remove the pain of the suffering and cheer the sad hearts. And giving, you receive the happiness. Almighty will bless all your actions. What a message. What message do we get from all this experience? All this experience give an insight that human beings can attain lasting peace and happiness only when they rise above themselves and work towards serving others without external temptation. Is it utopian goal or is it practicable the day-to-day life? I have come across many incidents where people have, irrespective of their normal professional affiliation, have come forward for great societal mission by giving. While I'm with you, I would like to recall one event that has resulted in the evolution of peace doctrine by 5 great souls. I remember at that time I was the principal scientific advisor. On 30th September 2001, I was on my way to Pokhara, a steel town from Ranchi in Jharkhand, when the helicopter carrying me crashed moments before landing. The helicopter hit the earth with a terrible impact after its engine failed, and I saw all around the broken pieces of rotors and many parts of the helicopter. All of us on the board had a miraculous escape. Grateful to God, but unfazed by the incident, I went ahead with my scheduled program of addressing the students of Pokhara and the members of management of Pokhara steel plant. At night, however, a panel of doctors checked me and persuaded me to take a tranquilizer to alleviate my perceived shock. The truck made me sleep hours ahead of my usual time, 1 a.m. Also, I failed to rise at my usual 6 a.m. and woke up only after 8 o'clock. It was, however, a disturbed sleep, and sometime in the middle of it turned into a dream. In the dream, I fell to thinking why the human race, the best of all God's creation, has been so deeply divided by violence. I imagined a conversation between 5 people who together symbolize the first attributes of the human mind, whom I admire deeply. Through their conversation, I sought an answer. In this experience, much more intense and vivid than a dream, though for want of better word, I shall term it that I saw myself in a desert with miles of sandy hills in all around. There was a full moon, and desert was bathed in its light. 5 great men, Mahatma Gandhi, Albert Einstein, Emperor Ashoka, Khalifa Umar, and Abraham Lincoln stood in a circle, their clothes ruffled by the wind, sandy wind. I felt myself dwarfed standing next to the majestic Emperor Ashoka. Ashoka led 2 lives, one as a ruthless conqueror and the other as a compassionate ruler. The man I stood beside was the one who had just returned from conquest, but victory had been obtained at a heavy cost. The Battle of Kalinga claimed the lives of at least 100,000 people, and an equal number were wounded. I saw everyone looking at Ashoka, who fell on his knees and removed his armor and crown. His face was pale, reflecting the death surrounding him. He looked at the sky. He saw the bright, cool moon shining and God's grace pouring down on the Mother Earth. And he looked down at the horror he has created, making blood flow everywhere. In that moment of beauty and horror, the silver moonlit night, and the suffering and pain on the ground, when nature itself seemed to speak out against what he has done, then the Ahimsa Dharma was born. Emperor Ashoka embraced God's command to propagate the love for the human being through this Ahimsa Dharma doctrine. As I stood by, I wondered why the Kalinga War, why the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi, why the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, or many others like them. Has God Almighty faltered in His creation? Is the destruction of the mankind essential for a second creation? In that blissful silence, the Mahatma Gandhi spoke. He said, "Friends, the divine message we are hearing is the message of creation. Since we all belong to planet Earth, we may give a message to mankind how people of different races, religion, and languages can live peacefully and prosperously together. God Almighty," Mahatma Gandhi said, "God Almighty has blessed us all with something unique that we pass on to mankind through our deeds and efforts. Is that working? Is there any divine message or doctrine? Divine beauty should enter into the human soul and happiness blossom in the body mind. Is it possible?" Also, the Emperor Ashoka said, "Friends, there is one thing I have realized. There is no victory in causing suffering. Triumph is a peaceful kingdom." Khalifa Umar said, "I learned after I entered Jerusalem that all men are equal. There is no point in forcing others to follow your path. You will get only that which is ordained for you. God alone is the sovereign." Khalifa Umar never saw his position in terms of his special privileges that is carried. To him, government was a sacred trust, and he did his best not to betray the trust in any way. It was Einstein's turn. Einstein said, "I would like to recall my friend Werner Heisenberg's view, quote, you know, in the West, we have built a large, beautiful ship. It has all the comforts in it. But one thing is missing. It has no campus and does not know where to go." Men like Tagore and Gandhiji and their spiritual forebearers found the campus. Why can't this campus not be put in the human ship so that both can realize their purpose? Abraham Lincoln, the great American leader who fought against the slavery, whose life paralleled that of Mahatma Gandhi in many respects, said at this point, quote, "There is one thing that I would like to say. Happiness comes from the family's prosperity and happiness at various levels. God's grace gives bliss to human lives. Happiness and bliss are two important components of a godly life on earth. Perhaps there is so much conflict between people and nation because in our pursuit of prosperity and power, we have lost sight of ethical values. We must ask ourselves, what is the role of human consciousness? Does it have a part in political thinking, scientific thinking, and theological thinking? Is spirituality acceptable in the business of life? Mahatma Gandhi recalled sage Ashtavakra, who propounded to the people, "Oh my son, you are the very consciousness within which arises this phenomenal universe that is not separate from what you are. How can there be a question of anything being acceptable or unacceptable? Does it mean conscience is the light of the soul that burns within the chambers of our psychological heart?" The five great souls concluded, "Let the business of life be peace and prosperity, and not exploitation and conflict. Giving always gives highest order of happiness." This is our message to the planet. Everything that we do, any doctrine that we expose should be for the good of humankind. Recently, friends, in conclusion, recently I came across a book, 5 Minds for the Future, written by the Howard Gardner. My curiosity and desire increased to go into the details of this book, particularly in the today's world, environment of the social conflict, political violence, impact of globalization. I studied the 5 minds of the future. Let me describe based on my understanding. Number 1, the disciplinary mind. Number two, synthetic mind. And number 3 is the creative mind. Number 4, respectful mind. And number 5, the ethical mind. In the present scenario, the need for respecting minds and ethical minds is very important because many of the societal problems today are arising out of the lack of consideration for others and the overwhelming selfishness of the individual. The education system has to cultivate these minds among the youth so that they learn to respect others, are tolerant and perseverant for realizing their goals in life. Once again, let me thank the members of the University of Kentucky for this unique honor of my being awarded with a degree of doctorate. My best wishes to all the members of the University of Kentucky for success in their mission of providing a distinctive education to the youth from many parts of the world, which will enable them to solve many societal issues. And my best wishes. May God bless you all, friends.
My script asked for me to ask the audience to stand and give you a standing ovation, but they are well behaved, so your greatness preceded that comment. I just want to say in conclusion, I have now heard the President speak 3 times, and I can attest to the fact that we knew in reading his background that he was an intellectual technologist, a fellow engineer. I've learned since he's been here that he is a compassionate humanitarian. He is a man that has a strong belief in a higher purpose, and that is to take his home country of India from being a developing country to being a developed country. And as you can also see, he is a strong man of spirituality. And so it indeed is an honor for this institution to honor you with our highest degree. We thank you so much for being here. At this time, this concludes our academic celebration in honor of His Excellency, Dr. Apj Abdul Kalam. I want to thank all of you participating today and wish you well. Thank you.